Hey everyone, welcome back to another video and to our community. My name's Phil and today I want to share why you should give Chaos Zero Nightmare a try, at least once, to see if it's your kind of game. We'll explore what makes it stand out, what might concern some players, and why I personally think it's such an exciting experience. So let's dive right in. Before we get into the gameplay details, let's quickly cover what Chaos Zero Nightmare is actually about. The story takes place in a world on the brink of collapse, where reality itself is unstable and nightmares bleed into existence. You play as a group of unique individuals who have the power to dive into these distorted worlds known as Chaos Realms. Each realm reflects the fear, regrets and emotions of the people trapped within, and as you fight your way through, you're not just battling monsters, but the fragments of broken memories and lost dreams. It's a mix of mystery, tragedy, and discovery, and every character you meet adds another piece to the puzzle. Some fight to protect, others to atone, and some simply to understand the chaos consuming their world. That's where the gameplay ties in beautifully. And by beautifully, I mean it's very immersive. You get swallowed into the whole world, the character design, and the whole details regarding the story and the mystery itself. But now that we've got a quick idea of what the world of Chaos Zero Nightmare looks like, let's talk about what makes it truly stand out, the key gameplay aspects and mechanics. The game itself offers a blend of fast-paced action and deep strategy, with roguelite elements that keep every run feeling fresh. You never quite know what's coming next, and that unpredictability is part of the fun. So it basically blends deck building card strategy with roguelite explorations, where every run feels like fresh, new, and something exciting, because you never know really what happens, and at the end of it, it's still a fun game, even though it can be a bit hard at some parts of the game. And with every run, you also have the trauma breakdown system, meaning your character emotional states matters just as much as its stats. Pushing them to the edge unlocks new growth paths, but with real trade-offs. And every breakdown can be different too, which we will come back later on in the video. And that's not all there is to it, because next we basically come back to the character itself. You just don't build your characters, you build decks, you collect weapons and partners, and you're basically layering synergies and strategy choices one by one, which at the end of it makes your team and how you build it different in every run and every way. You have so many possibilities and choices, it's just so fun to even think about it, at least from someone like me who enjoys and plays card games a lot. And visually, the game looks really stunning with very fluid cinematic animations, dynamic lighting, and menacing dark fantasy vibes. Things every Dark Souls and dystopian fan would love to experience and see, because it's really exciting to watch. And before we dive into the one key mechanic I'm most excited about, and I think gives you such a vast amount of freedom and choices that you are basically bound to have pretty much endless fun, is basically that the game itself is launching globally on October the 22nd on mobile and PC, and you can already pre-register to snag really special rewards. And we already reached the milestone of 2 million, but you can never have enough fellow protos that enjoy and play the game with you, right? So what really makes the gameplay special for me personally, and I think for most people, is basically the Epiphanies. But of course the question is, first and foremost, what exactly are Epiphanies? Think of them as unique traits or breakthroughs your characters can experience, like mini awakenings that completely change how you approach battles. They give you a ton of freedom to experiment, mix builds and create your own playstyle. And trust me, that's basically where the game truly shines in my opinion, in that sense of discovery and freedom you have with the Epiphanies, and how you basically change your character, what paths you take with them, and how you basically skill them based on the cards, and of course of a bit of luck, so what you're getting and basically using. And to give you a bit of an imagination what kind of freedom and choices we're talking about, let's just do a quick example and pick one of the characters and see what kind of freedom and choices you basically have just with this one character. Magna is described as a vanguard position with the justice element. So our kid has 1 attack and 2 shields as a base card and her signature card giving her crystallization. Every character has a signature and unique cards that basically dive into the special skills the character has and their unique mechanic. For Magna, crystallization gives us 20% shield at the end of the turn per stack, and you are able to have a max of 5 stacks. She also has a counter attack, which does what it says basically. When you receive damage, you immediately attack the enemy back. But to give you an example, let's get a closer look at Ice Fragment. It costs 1 action point, is an upgrade, which means it's permanent until the end of the battle, and it gives our team 2 crystallization at the start of our turn. We also gain 1 counterattack. It also has the lead effect, which gives us a chance of 50% to reduce its cost by 1 if we play it first in our turn. For the sake of our example, let's say we want to have Magna as a sole vanguard able to protect the rest of our team. We now have a few different options to do exactly that. First, we can pick this version if we want to raise the fixed amount of shield we get at the end of the turn. But we can also pick this version to raise the amount of counterattacks we gain while keeping the amount of crystallization we get. Or we can pick this version if we want to have the card at the start of each battle to ensure that it's a base pillar for every fight. Outbreak of War means we get the card in every battle on the first turn into our hand. We can then combine this with Magna's attack card Iron Fist and pick its first Epiphany that amplifies the defense-based damage we do with her. Or we gain the shield value of the damage dealt either by 50% or by 100%. As a result, this makes Magna in theory to a reliable tank that is able to dish out some damage with counterattacks that are based on our defense stat. Now let's look at the other side and say that we choose a strategy where we aim at dealing a ton of damage in order to kill off enemies quickly before they can attack or get into the fight. For the sake of Disco, instead of us gaining shield value, we can switch to applying free vulnerable to an enemy, which results in them taking plus 50% of damage. And exactly these choices and the amount of freedom we have at choosing makes the whole team building a unique experience. We can experiment who we put together and even then change the cards and the equipment they get to be an expert at the role we chose for them in that particular team composition. But where do we store all this information and what we choose for which character? That's where the save data comes in and the whole grind process takes part. Each run, each branching choice, each epiphany, and every deck decision you make shapes the save data. Over time, your file reflects your path, basically, unlocking new cards, buffs, story options, or route branches based on what you've done before. In simpler terms, it's basically the save data is your campaign memory or the result of what choices you made in that particular storyline. Of course, I need to point out the game is still unreleased, so the exact mechanics on how it works and so on haven't been fully confirmed, but once the game launches we'll be able to test and show you exactly how save data exactly works and what the downsides and positives are. And now that we covered some key aspects of the game, the epiphanies, the save data, and what makes this game unique and in my opinion really wonderful to play over and over again, let's talk about some of the things players might worry about before diving in, like the gacha system and the roguelite progression. To keep this part as brief as possible, we concentrate on the changes that were made, that most of the Discord community and the community overall worried about. The game still has its 50-50 gacha system in which you roll to get the targeted 5-star combatant or partner, which is basically a weapon you equip to your character. The good news in this case, new characters won't be limited only to events, but also available through the normal rescue. Only collaborations and seasonal characters will be limited. Meaning, you can pull all characters from the normal rescue even after their pickup period ends. The same goes for partners. Also, pickup partners will be available for purchase once a month in the shop. And when it comes to Eager Manifestation, Dupes will also be able to buy up to 2 of the materials per combatant, including pickup units. And these will also be available through seasonal content as a gameplay reward. At the early game and through gameplay, it was also mentioned that enough Gacha currency will be provided to cover around 200 pulls, which is fairly not bad. And apart from that, they also upgraded the breakdown system. So if a character breaks down, they could also attack your own team or have many unknown different mechanics we don't even know about yet. And now for my personal opinion. What makes Chaos Zero Nightmare so interesting as a whole? For me, it's the creative freedom and the sense that the game rewards curiosity. Every time I play, I learn something new about how its world and mechanics connect. That's also why I've decided not to reroll when the game launches. Yes, there are a tons of videos out there recommending rerolls, but I want my experience to feel organic, unpredictable, and true to what the game is about: chaos and discovery. So that's basically all for today's video. By the end, my goal is simple: to help you decide whether Chaos Zero Nightmare is worth your time, or at least spark enough curiosity for you to give it a try at least. And of course, if you want to see more updates on my progression or how I am doing fairly at the game, you are always free to join our community and follow my progress as we dive deeper into this world together. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay curious, stay chaotic, and I'll see you in the next one.